Hey guys, it's DevMotion back again with another video. In today's video, it's going to be another monthly comic book review, and this is month 3. And, again, we have a Green Arrow comic, but like I promised, we were going to have some new comics, and this series isn't new, it's very old, but it's probably very unfamiliar to many people who live in the United States or just haven't heard of this comic. And this is from Virgin Comics. That is the publisher. And I found these at a local comic book shop. Not local, actually. It's called Cloud City. And they have these comics that are from an Indian publisher. So it's called Virgin Comics. And I have issue 1 of Ramayan. And also, I think either all or 6 issues of the Sadhu, which translates to sage, and I will be also reviewing these in a monthly fashion, starting with Ramayan as the first comic of the month, or this part of the series, and I'll be reviewing these 6 issues of the Sadhu in the next few months, in the next 6 months. So, yeah, exciting news. So, I'm going to be reviewing this comic and this Green Arrow comic. And speaking of the Green Arrow comic, this is, I believe, issue 22. But I guess we'll find out when we open it up. Yeah, pretty excited about the find because, not really common to find Indian comics, and I think Virgin Comics has been out of publishing their own comics for a while now. I think it's been like maybe a decade, because these series are from 2008, 2007. So yeah, they stopped publishing when I was born, which is kind of funny. But this is issue 22. I believe this is one of the last issues of this story arc. I think second to last or third to last, maybe. So, yeah, issue number 22. So I'll give these 2 comics a read, and then I'll get back to reviewing them. Alright guys, I read these comics, and I very much enjoyed these comics, and I had a good time reading them. So let's get down to the review, and let's start with Green Arrow, just because I wanted to save this one for last and talk about it a little bit more. So issue number 22. So this is picking up from the Freshwater arc, and we last saw that Oliver is attacked by one of the freshwater killers. He defeats them, and the killer says that Oliver is responsible for what happened to Freshwater, the poisoning by a chemical company. So we pick up this issue. Oh yes, and Detective Benitez, I believe is her name, goes off to investigate the killers at Freshwater Community. And like all the other issues, this one also starts a little bit of a flashback. We get a, I guess, VHS tape of the advertisements that were put out for Freshwater when the community was first built. And, it's very interesting to see that. And then we get a support group for what happened at Freshwater. There's a Freshwater support group, and I thought this is really interesting. And it was, you see like perspective of normal people. Of course, these are probably not normal people. These are probably all of the freshwater killers, and this is how it started, how they grouped up and became a gang of freshwater killers. We also see this guy over here, and he's actually the kid that we've been seeing in these previous issues who had the epilepsy from the benzene poisoning. So that was interesting. I'm sure he's probably the gang leader of all the freshwater killers. Then we actually pick up with Oliver from him arresting the freshwater killer. And what I thought was really interesting was Oliver was still wearing his tape around his fingers for his arrow, for his, his archery. And I was just wondering if anyone noticed that, any of the cops, maybe. I thought this lead detective would, and maybe he would be tipped off by the fact that he's wearing the tape, like even in this panel, because he's looking right at his fingers. So I thought, maybe. But, we see Oliver acting like a dumb rich guy because he wants to throw the police off his scent. I thought that was really interesting. Not something we always see. And then we see Oliver getting an unknowing tip from this detective that Benitez has gone to freshwater. And then we see Oliver in his Oliver get his motorcycle. And that was kind of cool. And we get this really cool splash page. I believe that's what it's called, splash page, or just one page of Oliver riding his bike and, in his new suit. I really like this new suit. I know people are kind of iffy with a cape, but I like it. I thought it looks cool. And then we catch up with Benitez and her dog. And I thought it was just, you know what? I was kind of supportive of the freshwater killers, even though they're killers. But then they beat up this dog. They beat up Detective Benitez's dog. And I thought, that's the last straw, Can't support them. And then we get this really cool page of Oliver riding his bike through the rain. And it looks so good. And just, the art, again, I believe it's Montos, right? I don't know. It doesn't say it right there. But, yeah, Montos. Amazing job with the art. It's really grown on me in the past few issues. And you can see Benitez's dog just beaten up. Poor guy. Arrow. That's the name of the dog. And then we just get, drawn by Montos. Yeah, just amazing art. And then this kind of ends abruptly because what happens is they drag Benitez to a school. And literally the ending is just Oliver finding the school. I don't know. I thought it was kind of an abrupt ending. Actually, I thought this was going to be the start of the issue. I don't know why. But, yeah. And then we also get this preview for Absolute Green Lantern. And I think this story is going to be interesting, but the art is pretty horrid. I won't lie. It looks like, I don't know, like a 15-year-old drew like manga or something. I don't know. It just looks horrible to me. I don't think we should be mixing this art style into comics. This is personally me. This looks good. Like, when it's non-human beings. But I mean, this just, come on. That looks so bad. This and that. No offense to the artist, of course. But yeah, I'm probably going to try and read this. Maybe give it a shot. See if it's good or not. And we also got an advertisement for the Showcase podcast. Not a lot of people know about it, but it's like DC's official well, it is official. No quotation marks there. And I don't know if a lot of people are listening to it. Hopefully they are, because they drop tidbits here and there about the new DCU. And then Batman Ninja ad. I thought this was an okay comic. It's not a filler comic, but it's definitely not anything exciting. Like, if you miss this comic issue, you'll be fine. It was okay. Yeah, probably, if I'm gonna rank it, it's probably the worst one of the three I've gotten so far, which doesn't mean it's a bad comic. It's just not very interesting. But let's get to what I was really excited about to talk about here. And it's this Version Comics issue 1 of Ramayan. And it's done by Deepak Chopra and Shekhar Kapoor. And the art, I mean, just look at this cover. Oh, that is so good. you can just see like the little drawings of Hindu gods, and that's just amazing. But yeah, I mean, basically this is a reimagining of the Hindu epic Ramayan for modern audiences, and it takes place in 3392, so way into the future. And a lot of world building happens here in this issue, but just through this text. And I can't believe this was published in 2006. I mean, it's just amazing. This is so well done. Just look at the art. This is Jim Lee level stuff, in my opinion. But we basically get introduced to Dashrath, who is the father of the main characters, who we'll see in a second. And they're basically talking about these evil people from the land called Nark. And he just talks about how they're taking over outposts. And I believe they call it Aryavarta. So that's like supposed to be India. And Nark is, I guess, Sri Lanka, which might seem offensive, but if you know the story of the Ramayan, you would understand why. But we get introduced to Dashrath's children, Bharat, Shatrughan, Lakshman, and Ram. And you know, they obviously take a few creative liberties here, like making Bharat very rude, Shatrughan a child, and Lakshman, he's hot-headed, which he is a little bit in most retellings of the Ramayan, but super hot-headed in this one. And then we get this amazing art. I mean, just look at that. Can't believe that, you know, this publisher went out of business. Well, I mean, they don't publish anymore because they could do something really cool here. But the issue is more or less about them training, and then they get caught by guards. Oh, this is a poster, by the way. I can't open it because it's stapled. But then they get caught by these guards, and, you know, instead of arresting them, like, hey, your father, who's the king of this land, has asked for your presence. And they're obviously supposed to be, like, estranged with them, like, with the father, like, you know, Dashrath and the four boys are supposed to be kind of estranged because he's the king, he's really busy, he doesn't have time for them. And so they're kind of rude to him, except Ram, who's very nice and forgiving and respectful. And then they're sent off because he recruits them to defeat these demons at their outposts from Nark. And I mean, just look at this art. So Ram and Lakshman are sent together, and I guess Bharat and Shatrughan are also sent on a different team, and I mean, just, this art is amazing. I just can't get enough of this. This is crazy. But you know, they're at this outpost and they're enjoying their time meeting locals. And then, I mean, yeah, this is pretty graphic too. I mean, this is just amazing art. And then they get attacked by these demons. Like, that's like the final page. It says to be continued. That was issue 1. And I thought this was amazing. I thought this was fantastic. The art is amazing. The writing's pretty good. I mean, obviously, it's, you know, it's the first issue. There's not a lot, I could tell. I don't know how many issues there are supposed to be in this, but I really hope I can collect them because this is great. And hopefully, based off this, that the Sadhu is also good. And I'm excited to read this as well. That'll be for next month. But yeah, I mean, this was a fantastic start, and it was definitely a different take on the Ramayan. I just didn't expect it to be so different. I mean, the art is, I just can't get enough of the art. I also thought about ripping out the poster from here, but I mean, it's just, I don't feel like damaging the comic book at all because it's just that good. Also, the feel in this comic, I don't know if it's because this was published in 2006, right? And I don't know, maybe there's been cost-cutting measures at DC. But this just feels so much cheaper compared to this. I mean, the difference is pretty striking. Because this feels like cheap paper. Well, this feels like, I mean, it's like a graphic novel type of feel, like when you get a collected a few issues. That's how it feels. They also advertise some of their other issues, like the Sadhu. I think they also did a lot of collaborations with famous Hollywood stars, I think. I don't remember exactly which ones, but I know they have collaborated with a few celebrities. I mean, I just wish that they were still publishing, because this is too good. Probably like a 10 out of 10 for this one. I mean, that was just really good. So let's bag and board these. Okay, I've got my boards, I've got my bags. Let's do this. So I'm gonna first of all take this, sunny side up. Let's do arrow first, green arrow first. And what I usually do is put this like that. Insert. There's the bag. Insert this. Alright, I'll do this first. It's always pretty tricky because of the static in the bag that always stick to each other. The two sides of the bag stick to each other. I've been really liking this run of Green Arrow. It's really grown on me. I was a big fan of, was it Williamson, who was writing it before? I kind of fanboyed over him, and I thought it'd be not as good with this new team, but I'm really happy that it is. Also, new comics from DC are the Absolute Batman series. I caught up with that, and I thought it was pretty good. I haven't caught up with Superman and Wonder Woman. Also finished or caught up with, where is it, Superman. Thought that was good. Did they remove yeah, I think they removed Superman from here, probably because of the new issue, maybe. Nope, it's right there. Just different price. Yeah, I was thinking of subscribing to maybe Superman or JSA or JLU. Probably JLU, just because I think it'll be more important for the new Absolute Universe and the new event that they're planning, which I don't know what their game plan is, because it's really confusing. I think it's gonna be a long game plan, because I remember them saying that they weren't gonna do any crossovers between the Absolute Universe characters until like a year, and they'll probably do that next year. So probably after that they form their Absolute Justice League, we'll get a crossover with the main line and the Absolute. So we have bagged and boarded this one. I've actually been unbending my boards because they came pretty bent, or they didn't come bent, but they got bent over time because I wasn't storing them properly. So I put them under a few textbooks, and it's been a slow process. I hope this is big enough for this comic, because it's really thick. Yep, got it in. Yeah, I mean, and the quality, like, for, a comic that's, like, some 18 years old, really good, not really damaged. I had, like, one damage on, like, the back of the, of the last page. And let's just tape these. One little piece of tape. that was not taped very well, but still. And then, oh, last piece of tape. That's pretty good. And boom. Yep, so that was Green Arrow issue 22 and the first issue of Ramayan 3392. Hopefully I can collect the rest of these because this was just too good. What a great find. It was also in the dollar bin, so I was pretty happy with that. But yeah, stay tuned for the 6, 7 issues of the Sadhu over the next few months, and obviously Green Arrow. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. See ya.